Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle 6th anniversary figure unboxing video. And today we're going to be cracking into the greatest LR support herself, good ol' B-Pan. As you can see here, this is a pretty good looking figure from what we've got on the box already. I quite like the look of it. Funny enough, I will talk about the face a little bit once we actually get it out of the box. But funny enough, I think it is a little bit off from the card art, but I think it looks good for Pan herself, which I know is kind of a weird thing to say. But as you can see here, this is so funny, right? They have the name of the card on here, right? Which is Pan GT Honey version, right? But on the front of the box, whoopsie, it says Dragon Ball Super. I think that's so funny. By the way, something that my boy Baggy Saiyan noticed is that on the Japanese packaging for these, I'll give you the example with God Goku, there is the actual Dokkan Battle card art on these, but this obviously is the overseas version because it says Ichiban Show, and there's no Dokkan Battle art on it despite the logo being on there. That's like so odd to me, considering like obviously these figures are great like separate from Dokkan Battle, but that's kind of the main appeal of these guys, right? That they are specifically Dokkan Battle figures. I don't understand why they would remove something that's like integral to the figure. And I mean, it's weird to me too because it's on the front of the box, you know, it says Dokkan Battle on it, so it's not like somebody who doesn't play the game wouldn't know what it is. I don't know. Very weird to me, the choices that Bandai makes sometimes. By the way, I do want to show you real quick before I chuck this box to the side, before we even crack into B-Pan, she is going to be considerably smaller, right? Here is the last figure we took a look at, the Trunks. Look at the size difference between these two boxes here. That is pretty ridiculous if I do say so myself. Obviously, Gohan and B-Pan are a little bit smaller than the other two, so it kind of makes sense that that would be the case, but like, man, that is like really tiny. Like, I did not expect the box to be that tiny when I got it. I was like, wait, is it supposed to be this small? Oh, is she all put together already? Oh, okay, well, oh wow, okay, I definitely did not expect that. Let's go ahead and turn on our ring light here and crack into it. Oh, are her wings already attached? Wow, they are. Okay, I'm kind of surprised about that. A yellow stand? Okay, Bandai, I see you. I kind of like it. I dig it. It's always nice than just getting another black one. Okay, so we have this very nice, clear yellow stand here, obviously to kind of fit with the theme of B-Pan's wings. I don't know if you can see the text on the back of that, but it is literally just the copyright information. I guess you don't really need to see it, but you get the point. It does say Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle in Japanese, though, so that is kind of cool, I guess. Alright, yellow stand, huh? This sort of reminds me of the original Link amiibo, because he had... Oh, it actually says prize E on the stand. That's cool. I guess that makes sense, considering the rest of these figures didn't have stands like this, right? So, obviously, where they're going to put it on there would be the one figure that has a stand. Okay, so good to see that they bubble wrap the face. That's nice. Is there a hole here? Perfect. Let's go ahead and break B-Pan out. Now, I will say, this was one of the figures that I was actually the most excited for, only because, obviously, Pan does not get that many figures. I think there's only, like, one Pan figure that I've ever seen that I actually kind of like, and it's kind of rare. I would like to own it, but I think it's just because there's not that many of them. Alright, let's uncase the face, and I think that looks pretty good. Let me be careful of this here. Hold on, let me... Okay, there we go. I don't want to break the antenna. Are the antennas supposed to be that far back? They're kind of a little bit goofy, but I guess that sort of makes sense considering the fact that they've been in the packaging. I think they... Let me... You know what I'll do? I'll stick here. Let's move the box out of the way. I'll stick this antenna behind here, so then that way it can kind of like maneuver to how I want it to be. Stay! Stay! Okay. That'll do, I think. Alright, so here is the face of B-Pan. I will say, it looks a little bit better on the box. I'm not even going to cap with you. Great sculpt work on the fluffy parts of her outfit. Really, really like that. I think the wings look very nice. Obviously, the fact that they use this sort of translucent gold, I guess you would call it. I don't even really know. I guess it's just yellow, right? This translucent sort of thing for the wings. They are a little bit flexible, but they're not like super flexible. Like you're not supposed to be, you know, breaking them off, you know. Obviously the headband looks great. There's a lot of great oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the effect, but there's a lot of great gradients, there we go, of orange colors throughout here to kind of give it the effect of being wrapped around the head. Also, that is definitely darker, the little tie, than the rest of the figure, and the black thing came off. Bruh. That is definitely not going to stay there, I don't think, unless I really push that down or something like that. But yeah, I mean, her face, let's compare it to the card art right here, right? I think her face is not bad. It's very happy, and I feel like it fits an expression that B-Pan would have, but I feel like it's not exactly how the card art's expression is, if that makes sense. It also kind of looks like on my copy. I don't know why it's not focusing on the face. I think maybe my camera is not a fan of the face. I think the mouth is maybe a little bit too open, and the eyes are like maybe one looks almost too far down, like the way that it's printed on there, because they're not sculpted in. They're actually just like a printed on paint or water decal. I'm not actually sure how they would apply that. Funny enough, it also looks fine from the top now, but then when you see it from the back, the little B antenna doesn't look that good. Her hair is sculpted nicely. The belt is also sculpted very, very nice. I do like the way that they did the chain. Oh, there's where the stand goes in. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and plug it into the stand. Yeah, I am very curious. Like, it was so interesting to me because the whole like gimmick with this particular Dokkan line is effects, right? It's like effect pieces, and we've seen God Goku, and we've seen Goku Black, and we've seen Trunks, but I guess B-Pan's effect is supposed to be her wings? I guess? Like, that's really the only thing that is an effect piece here, I suppose. And I mean, like, the yellow color, again, that they chose for them is pretty cool, but I still think that, like, compared to, especially God Goku, like, it's so weird that God Goku kind of set the standard for this set, being, you know, like, all those crazy effect pieces, and then we have some things like this, where I guess technically the wings are the only effect piece. I don't know. I will say, though, I really, really like that they made this yellow, because I feel like it fits a lot more with the overall stylization of the figure. Funny enough, it also fits with the color on the top of the box as well. It also makes it feel less like a Bam Presto figure and more like a, you know, higher quality Ichiban Kuji figure, which is what Kujis are supposed to be, but fall short a lot of the time, unfortunately. Also, Kujis have been having some clear stands lately, so it is good to see that we're getting a different color of that. Alright, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Of course, as usual, we have our standard, the Ichiban Kuji Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, as well as the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. You can see that this B-Pan is really not that big, all things considered. She is definitely pretty sizable on the stand, but Gotenks still beats her out in height in terms of his hair. I mean, he kind of beats out a lot of these smaller figures with his hair, I suppose, but interesting that B-Pan is definitely a lot bigger than Gotenks in terms of scale. Let's go ahead and give you a little measurement here on the stand. She looks to be about, I'd say 7.5 inches is about, maybe 7 3/4-ish. Looks just about correct to me. She is a decent size. Again, I'm glad that they put her on that high of a stand. It would have been nice to maybe even be a little bit of a higher stand, I'm not gonna lie, but overall, a good size for the figure, I would say. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons now. We have had our Dokkan Battle Standard for these last 3 videos. Of course, you know, I have to bring out the Blue Gogeta. Funny enough, that is actually my greatest complaint with this guy, is the fact that his Obi belt falls off constantly. That's the only thing that I really don't like about this figure, maybe besides the wobbly base. But I digress. These two do look pretty good together, even though these are obviously like nowhere close in terms of, you know, the canon and whatnot. Obviously, in terms of Dokkan Battle, these two be on rotation all the time together, of course, with B-Pan being such a good support unit. So it is cool to see these two Dokkan Battle figures come to life. and kind of, you know, be standing next to each other like this. Literally ripped right out of your phone. I quite like it. Moving on, we do have another Dokkan Battle figure. Now, I was thinking of comparing the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the Ichiban Kuji one, but A, he's up on the shelf and he's kind of hard to get, and B, since this is another Dokkan Battle figure, I figured I'd whip it out. I know a lot of people really don't like this figure, including me, but I keep it around because it is a Dokkan Battle figure, and the thing is, right, I want it to pair with the Vegeta, even though it doesn't look that good. But I will say, seeing these two next to each other is pretty cool. Obviously, both of these being GTLRs from Dokkan is pretty cool as well. You know, definitely B-Pan wins out here, though. These are both Ichiban Kuji figures, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, B-Pan is definitely the victor here, all things considered, right? Her and her grandpa here. And now, of course, you know I have to bring out the previous Dokkan Battle figures. And here is B-Pan with the rest of the Dokkan Battle gang. Sorry, it's kind of hard to get everybody in frame here. I have no idea how we're going to do this once we get all 5 of them here. But these all do look pretty awesome together. I really like the full look of this set together. I think the fact that they gave B-Pan the yellow stand really helps the figure kind of look a little bit more like it's a part of the set. The sculpting on all of them is pretty similar to kind of give it that effect, but I think the yellow stand definitely goes the extra mile to keep them all looking very similar. The only complaint that I think I have about this figure, besides the face being a little bit inaccurate to the card art, because I don't necessarily dislike how the face turned out, I just think that it's not necessarily, you know, as close as they could have got it, which, to be fair, is basically the same with all of these, maybe except for Godku, even him a little bit, but funny enough, my biggest complaint with this B-Pan is probably the price, to be honest with you, because the rest of these guys were 35 bucks. Obviously, that's the standard price of an Ichiban Kuji figure, so it doesn't really surprise me that B-Pan ended up being $35. But I mean, look at the size compared to the rest of these hooligans here. B-Pan is not only smaller in terms of height, but also smaller in terms of scale. The box probably should have told you that from the start, right? But this could have definitely been a $20 prize figure, right? And I'm not saying that I didn't want it to exist and I wasn't willing to pay the 35 bucks, because I understand with Ichiban Kuji figures, some are bigger, some are smaller with the scale, and they're all 35 bucks. That's just kind of the way it is with Bandai. But this definitely, you know, I feel like should have been a little bit lower in price, all things considered. Obviously, it's literally impossible for that to happen because the Kuji figure, you know, recommended store price, the MSRP, I believe the technical term is 35 bucks. So besides that, though, I quite like the figure, to be honest with you. I think it is definitely going to be a staple in my collection. And like I said, I've always wanted one Pan figure. At some point, I'd like to collect every Dragon Ball figure in like a prize figure or Kuji figure size. So definitely a nice piece to add to the collection. But hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Let me know what you think of B-Pan, of course, in the comments section below. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Helps the channel out immensely. And if you would like to go that extra mile for the support, you can go hit up the Patreon linked in the description. Help me collect figures, help the channel keep growing and succeeding, all that good stuff. But please do not feel obligated to do so. And if you would like to pick this figure up for yourself, of course, there are some links in the description where you can do so. Some Amazon links where if you pick it up, you'll get no extra cost, and I'll get a little bit of an extra cut, which is very nice, and I would appreciate it if you plan on picking it up from there. If it's not available from there, of course, I'll try and find some other links to some other places. Without further ado, though, we only have one more figure in the Dokkan Battle Ichiban Kuji set here. My boy Gohan is the last figure to arrive. He actually isn't even here yet at the time of this recording, so hopefully he will be here in time and we'll be able to get a family photo with the gang here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.